After a few days of nice weather here in central Ohio, clouds and rain are returning. The forecast calls for precipitation starting later this afternoon and continuing for the next 4 to 5 days, which means that today is the last day for me to test this car and figure out what's wrong with the nitrous system before we load up for Rockingham. I got out my multimeter and went through all the control circuitry and found absolutely nothing wrong. I've been through all this at least 100 times over the last year or so. Kenny and I decided to take the car up the road and go test it again while the roads are still dry.
Yep. Yeah, come on. Yep.
From a roll, the kit comes on without issue, but when we took the car down to the test spot and tried it from a dead stop, we got absolutely nothing, which leads me to believe we've got a problem with the throttle cable. So we brought the car back to the shop and I decided to swap out the wide open throttle switch. All right, so we've been working on this thing this morning. We took the car down the road and from a roll, Kenny could hold the readout for the NOS Mini and you could physically see the controller turn the first stage on. But when we stopped down here at the test spot and went to do it from a dig, it would not. And I'm concerned that maybe it has something to do with that throttle cable. And the switch that was on here, it had to absolutely have wide open throttle 100% or it would never touch it. And even though sitting here in the garage, it worked, out on the road or out on the track, it would not. So we went ahead and took the wide open throttle switch off the Biscayne and put it on here because it operates a little bit differently. It lines up with the linkages a little bit differently. And if it gets anywhere near wide open throttle, it's going to come on. So we're going to take it up the road and we're going to try it again and pray to God that this fixes it. As we prepare to take the Malibu out to test it again, the weather radar is showing that the rain could be moving in any minute. So there's a really good chance that if this last-ditch effort to fix the problem with the Malibu doesn't work, I'll be headed to Rockingham, knowing I have no chance in the shootout down at Rockingham. To say I felt disappointed and frustrated would be an understatement. The nitrous system on the Malibu has never been right since the day we put it on the car, and that's absolutely no fault of Nitrous Express. While I could list a lot of different reasons and give a lot of excuses, what it boils down to is that I haven't had time to work on the car myself. And so far this spring, when I do have time to work on it, the weather doesn't cooperate. Since most of the tracks have not yet opened up for the season here in central Ohio, my only option right now is the test spot on a back road down near our house.
It's working now. Came on.
All right.
Gee, I think we're finally good.
I can't express in words the relief I felt after that test hit. The car left on the first stage that on the chassis dyno produced an extra 200 horsepower to the rear wheels. Kenny? I think we got it. Evidently, when the car launches in low gear, it twists the frame just enough to put that throttle cable on a bind where it would not close the contacts in that wide open throttle switch. So the switch we've got on there now definitely will make contact. If it gets anywhere near wide open throttle, it comes on. So I feel like we're going to be able to go to Rockingham and have a good time. With what little time I have left today before the rain moves in, I have another project car that needs some attention down in the storage unit. Kenny and I grabbed the jump pack and hopped in the C10 and started making our way into town. It's been over a month, but feels like over a year since I put Mark's big block Chevy 4-speed 55 Chevy back together with 2 brand new ATM E85 carburetors. But letting a car sit with E85 and the carburetors is not good. Well, it's still here. So I want to see if Mark's car will fire up for me today and maybe take it around the block to run some fuel through the fuel system. The big block in Mark's 55 fired right up, and after it got a little heat in it, sat there and idled like it had been running just yesterday. This 55 is very sentimental to Mark, and it's been in his family since 1972. I think Mark's dad bought this the year before my dad bought ours. So my dad bought ours in 73, and I think Mark's dad bought this one in 72. And of course his dad had the interior done this way. It kind of looks like a 70s show car thing in here, or maybe a Mexican brothel. But that's what his dad wanted, you know, and that was the thing back then, you know, that's what everybody liked. It's lively. Mark's old 55 is like a 1970s time capsule. It's powered by a 12-to-1 compression 427 big block with dual 4-barrel carburetors on a tunnel ram intake and, of course, a Muncie 4-speed. Well, the rain finally got to us, but at least we got to take it out, go around the block a little bit, drive around, run some fuel through it. God, this thing runs so good. It's so smooth. I mean, it sounds really radical at idle, and it's really choppy at low RPM, but it cleans up really good about 2,500, and it's just smooth as silk from there on. God, and it just throws this thing around like it's a rag doll.
Yeah.
I mean, you just barely, well, here's the thing, when you go half throttle, that's technically that's like wide open on a single 4-barrel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's opening 2 carburetors at the same time. So 2 primaries are opening at the same time. So, I mean, it's like really, really sensitive with throttle input. But, God, it sounds so good and it runs good. It's amazing. I wish Mark could drive it and enjoy it more. Maybe we ought to just go visit him in the truck, but I know his hips bother him really bad. I know that's part of the reason why he don't drive the car. He needs to get his hip replaced. Let's go see him. While Kenny and I were out and about, I figured we'd stop down to the parts store and visit Mark since I needed to pick up some supplies before we leave for Rockingham this week. Plus, I've kind of heard that Mark's been having a rough time with his hip. I think that's part of the reason he hasn't been driving a 55. In fact, the last time he drove the car, he couldn't work the next day. Well, well, well. Look who it is. How are you doing today, Hobblong?
Oh, I hurt myself again today.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do?
I was helping throw some batteries back there, and Cliff said don't do it, and I did, and now I'm paying the price. So.
When are you going to get your hip replaced?
I don't know.
I'm either going to have to put an automatic in that car, or you're going to have to get your hip replaced, or both.
Special needs kids shouldn't be handling that.
Well, I just got done driving your car around.
Did you?
Yeah, it blew up again.
Yo, what?
No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
my God. That's all I need. Oh, my God.
Me and Kenny just fired it up down there in the storage unit, backed it out. We were going to drive it down here to see you, and it started pouring down rain on the way here.
See that?
So we turned around and went back.
Yeah, that thing hasn't been wet for years.
Mother Nature's not been good to me lately.
No, it hasn't. It's been punishing you pretty bad.
She's up my rear end every time I turn around.
Yep.
I finally got my nitrous fixed on my Malibu, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right.
It was some wiring
good.
that you sold me.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
It wouldn't surprise me.
After I got done giving Mark a hard time, we loaded up all my stuff and headed out to the truck with it. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. It's raining out here.
I know.
Yeah.
You're getting wet on the head.
I am.
You better get in there before you catch pneumonia. All right, bye. Although we've got the nitrous kit figured out on the Malibu, there's still plenty of work to do on the car before we load up for Rockingham. I wanted to pull the valve covers off and run the valve lash and just give the car a good once-over before we load up. I was just starting to feel confident that things were going my way when we put the car back together and fired it up to listen to the engine run with the valves adjusted. All right, so you're probably not going to believe this, but then again, maybe you would. We adjusted the valves on the car and we're just kind of going over everything, getting everything tidied up and ready to load the car. And I decided to take it up the road for some reason. I took it up the road and it will not come out of low gear. So I brought it back. We cooled it off, put it up on the lift. I pulled the governor cover off and let me show you what I found. So this is a governor out of a 700 R4. And they have these, what they call nails, that run through the governor and hold it together. And this is not how they come from the factory. This is what you get when you take the governor apart and put aftermarket weights and springs in it. But anyway, they've got these little E-clips that snap on to the nails to hold them in. And as you can see, I got one missing. And when I took the governor out of the case, this nail had come almost completely out, and you can see it's bent a little bit. So it's an easy fix, but gosh, what else can go wrong?
Please don't say that.
Somewhere around here, there's a box full of transmission parts, and I think it's in one of these cabinets down here. There it is. That's it. Kenny Powers knows where. Hell, there's a governor laying there. Hand me that governor.
There's two.
Well, that one's for a 204R. This is a 700R4 governor. And see these, that's awesome. So you see these are the original nails, and you see they're swedged. They cannot possibly come out. But if you want to, where'd the governor go that I just had in my hand? Oh, here it is. So, but if you want to adjust your weights and springs and change your shift points, then these nails have to be removable. So that's why they use these E-clips. And the only problem with the E-clips is sometimes they come apart. So thanks to you, you found my governor kits that I keep in stock here.
I knew where they were. I put them up there.
Oh, so that's an easy fix. We just got to put the governor back together. I was concerned maybe the gear had sheared. I've done that before. I've broken a couple of teeth. When the E-clip let the nail come out of the governor, I also lost one of the springs, and it looks like it probably got caught between the governor and the governor cover. Anyway, I went ahead and put the governor back in the car, and the next day we actually got a little bit of blue sky and dry roads to take the car out to test the transmission. Once I was confident that I had all my forward gears back, I took the car back to the shop, and I figured I'd start helping everyone else get ready to leave. Until I realized I have yet another problem with the Malibu. I also got some trouble with the air conditioning. The AC lines were rubbing against something. I don't know. Jeremy took the AC lines off. We've been having to recharge it every once in a while, and it got to the point where you'd have to charge it every day. We put some dye in the system, and we found a leak yesterday, and Jeremy's down at Mark's right now getting a new AC line made.
Hey, don't be chimping it up on the crimps.
Oh no.
This is a high-performance racing vehicle.
I'm putting the special OMG garage crimps on.
Yeah, we gotta have race-perfected daily driving.
Yeah, we gotta just crimp the dog snot out of it.
To the max.
Look at that.
To the max.
There ain't no way he's pulling that apart.
Don't say that.
What?
Every time you say that, it comes back with it in two pieces.
For a while, I was concerned the Malibu might never get put back together, but eventually we got the air conditioning charged and the car ready to load up. All right, everybody, it is Wednesday. Malibu is all back together. It's in good shape. Just took it up the road. Ice cold air conditioning. Nitrous works perfect. Both kits come on nice and clean. So Malibu, I think, is ready. Billy's got his S10 in the shop in here. He's swapping gears in it. It's got a 410 in it. He's putting 350s in it so he can run it quarter mile. Tess is out there. I don't know if you can see her, but she's out there washing the Corvette. She's getting it cleaned up. The motorhome's getting serviced, and we're just about to load up and head towards Rockingham. I'm really excited. This is probably the first time I feel like the Malibu is going to be okay. I'm also really excited because this event has been very well put together. It's been very well promoted. It looks to me like the organization of the event is top notch. I'm really excited. I'm really ready to have a nice weekend at a good event, well run, where people aren't coming close to death and dying. That's the main thing for me. I'm also really excited because the young man that got injured at Yellow Belly, mind you, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was in the stands. He wasn't on the starting line. He was not doing anything wrong whatsoever. But he got hit by a piece of a carbon drive shaft that came apart, and unfortunately, it looks like he's going to lose his left eye. Nate Prater, the promoter of Streetcar Bragging Rights, has provided him all expenses paid trip from Texas to North Carolina, and they're flying Kerry in on a helicopter, and they're going to land it at the track, and I'm going to get to meet him for the first time. So I'm really excited about that. The last time I saw him, he was not in very good shape, and he was bleeding right in front of our merch tent, and that was a very difficult thing for me. I've been pretty vocal about track safety. Things are pretty wild at some of these races the kids go to, and I just can't take it anymore. I can't. I don't want to ever see what I saw at Yellow Belly ever again. I hope I never see anything like that again. So I'm really excited to meet Kerry. I'm glad he's doing well. I'm excited to meet his mom and his family. They're good people. So we'll see you guys at Rockingham Dragway this weekend. Rockingham, North Carolina, Streetcar Bragging Rights.